Hello and welcome to Patched. I'm your host, Paul James, today on the eve of this PlayStation showcase that we've been discussing for, I don't know, months now. It's Matto Phillips.
Months?
How's things, mate?
Months? Have we been talking about it for months?
It's been
Or have we
rumoured
just
for a
forgotten?
couple. There's been a couple of months for sure
ages.
that there's been rumoured. So, well, now we officially know it's coming. So, how's things anyway, mate?
Great. Just great.
Keen for this time of the year with all the announcements starting to roll in. PlayStation and Xbox a few weeks later.
I love games. Xbox better. I'll say Xbox can bring whatever games they want. Everyone's just still going to talk about how shit Redfall is. Unfortunately. Like, oh, we've got these big Bethesda games coming out in the next 12 months. Redfall sucks. That'd be some PlayStation fanboy. They go, yeah, Redfall sucks. Yes. Thank you for pointing out the obvious, you idiot.
Yeah.
We all know, we've all played it, or you, except for PlayStation fanboy hasn't played it because they don't have an Xbox.
Oh, look, I'm sure there's a fair few that actually have an Xbox and will just never admit it. But yeah, I mean, it's that best time of the year for all things games. We've got the PlayStation showcase. There's the Xbox and Bethesda one with the attached Starfield show in a couple of weeks. There's Summer Games Fest. The kickoff event that Jeff Keighley hosts, which is kind of catches all of the different companies. So there's heaps and heaps of stuff. I'm sure Nintendo might even have a direct somewhere along the way. If nothing else, they've got so it's the new E3, but just spread out over a month. But hopefully not as many other showcases. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Oh, Ubisoft Forward. There's a Ubisoft Forward somewhere along the way.
Oh,
which is good. We need to see some more Assassin's Creed Mirage. That was the name. So, yeah, it's going to be a good time. But we've got a fair bit that we're probably going to have to discuss here when it comes to the PlayStation showcase, and that's coming in Aussie time this Thursday at 6 a.m. Like the important part of Australia time anyway. Don't know about you South Australians or West Australians. Jamie, you're fine up there in Queensland at the moment. You've embraced the real time.
The east side is correct. Everyone to the west of Victoria.
West, all that sort of. Anyway, so yeah, the event's coming up. There's PlayStation's promising big things. It's going to go for a little over an hour apparently. There's been some word come out in terms of what Jim Ryan has been saying. Old mate Jim and his control, and I hope that at some point they can just lean into the jokes about it, and just at some point give him a controller to have to hold, just for a laugh. But apparently he's been talking a big game, internally within the four walls of PlayStation, talking about how they want to just throw the kitchen sink at this and absolutely bury the competition.
Okay. Just two ways to do the kitchen sink.
I'll have to find the wording, but
don't do an Elon Musk and just bring a sink in. That's stupid. I mean, if you want to throw everything at Xbox, you don't really have to do much. You just say, "Hey, our game works," and you're done.
It's a pretty good start.
That's all you have to do. If you can tell a story in one sentence, you're doing better than what Xbox has done. Unfortunately.
I'm trying to find there was something that outlined exactly what Jim Ryan had said, but I can't find it at the moment. I'm sure I'll find it as we're going through things. But there's a lot for us to actually have to discuss through this episode anyway. We're gonna start by going through the PlayStation first party studios plus Bungie just to see what we think is going to be going on with each of those kind of key players over there. No compromise. Oh no, sorry, that's a Jim Ryan comment about Spider-Man. I don't know. We'll find it anyway. All the first parties to go through, and then heaps of other stuff because they partner with a whole bunch of companies. So we'll start from the top. I've sent you a list. We're working through the studios. We may as well just go through them in order from that push square link that I sent you with all the studios that were there. Just maybe make life a bit easier and we can be on the same page and plan ahead a little bit. They actually sort it by region, so we've got a couple of Japanese developers to begin with. Polyphony, the Gran Turismo developers. Any ideas or thoughts as to what they might be up to at this particular event?
Probably some DLC for Gran Turismo. That's all I know. I don't think there'll be much else unless they're just making another Gran Turismo game already.
Yeah, I could only see them kind of touching on some DLC, but using it as an opportunity to plug the movie, maybe.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I don't know if they'll actually show a trailer from the movie. I think if you've got an hour to work with, you probably don't want to spend 3 or 4 minutes focusing on a film. But I guess you can't rule it out. So,
who the hell's in it? I don't. I remember there was a.
What's his name
Yeah.
from Stranger Things? Oh, I
Oh,
can't think of the actor's name. It's not. No, it's not. It's not coming to me. What's he? What?
yeah. I'll have a look. The not the policeman guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that guy. Old David Harbour.
There we go. Thank you.
Oh, an old the guy that died recently. Oh no, right, no, different person.
Yeah,
Never
different person.
mind. I'm getting mixed up.
So yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I
Jerry
think
Halliwell, the Spice Girls in
is
it.
she really? Is Jerry Halliwell in it? That's
That's
I
yeah.
don't know.
Don't
I don't know what
avoid
to make
it.
of that.
Just avoid it.
But the trailer, I mean, the movie looks good for what it is, but I hope they don't show anything there anyway. And in terms of the game, yeah, probably very little. It might be part of a sizzle reel because there's going to be some PSVR 2 spotlight, and Gran Turismo 7 is certainly one of the marquee titles that they've kind of built the VR 2 marketing around because it looks amazing in VR, and you can kind of lean out the window and do the whole really immerse yourself to the fullest extent. So maybe it'll pop up for that.
Oh, what did I say? Can you throw a beer bottle at another car? Or is
I
it
mean, you
not
got to have a
100%?
beer bottle in your
Oh,
souped
damn.
up car in the first place, so I guess probably not.
Damn.
Next up is Team Asobi, who are the team that have been responsible for Astrobot, really. So, I mean, Astrobot Rescue Mission was a original PSVR game, and it's arguably the best game on the PSVR. And then they did Astro's Playroom, which was a launch title demo thing, which was also amazing, despite the fact it was just a demo. Are you expecting more Astrobot, or do you think they could be up to something else?
I reckon everyone loves Astrobot. And when did the PlayStation get released? Like, I can't remember. Like 3 years ago? 4?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, 2020. So it's been 3 years.
3 years. So, of course, it's got to be another Astro Boy game. Maybe something that's not a demo this time. The deluxe edition
real
of
thing.
Astro's Playroom. Yeah, the real thing.
I mean, do you think it'll be like a traditional controller game, or do you think they'll Astrobot Rescue Mission 2 style, and it'll be PSVR 2?
Why not both? Maybe they could be the first to do both. Controller or VR.
I can get around that. I still can't find this Jim Ryan quote. I'm searching and searching and searching, but really, it's just.
You sure you didn't dream it?
Oh no, I've heard several people report on it, but I just can't.
Or mum,
just can't
maybe
find
he
it, but-
somehow paid everyone to delete it from the
Delete
internet.
delete your comments.
Delete it or else.
Yeah,
I'll
got no
get the
idea, mate.
EU after you. Oh no, don't worry about the EU anymore. They're not on his side.
No, got no idea. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm with you. It's Astrobot. It's just a matter of whether it's a traditional game or a VR2 game. I hope it's a VR2 game because they need to find ways to justify the VR2 further. I think there's a few people, and myself included, it's already starting to gather dust after that initial launch period, which is not
Wow.
ideal.
That was
Well, there was
2
a
months
huge
ago.
chunk of games at first, and then it's been a trickle since. So, I don't know.
It was like, quick, put all these games out there.
That was all the
do
dust,
nothing.
just to be clear. The dust just got in my nose and caused that.
And then done nothing since. There was some good pre-launch games, and then just nothing.
Like Horizon's good.
Well,
It's not amazing, but Horizon's
Horizon.
good. There was heaps of other launch games around it, and then it's just gone pretty quiet. So,
Was
I
there
know.
a Star Wars?
yeah, Tales from
was
Galaxy's
that-
Edge, which is something I'm keen to play at some point. It's one of the few games that came out that period that I didn't get sent a code for, but it's a bit on the pricey side at the moment, so I'll catch it later on. I mean, it's meant to be really good, so I'm sure it's probably worth the price, but I don't have the $80 in
There
me at the moment.
There
So.
are other games to play, unfortunately. For this
Exactly.
year.
There's that too.
Like for Jedi Survivor.
Oh, yeah. Next up is Firesprite, and we just mentioned Horizon for VR. Firesprite are the team responsible for Horizon Call of the Mountain on PSVR, but they are reportedly working on a few other titles at the same time. They may have even apparently inherited the Twisted Metal game that's being made, or supposedly being made, because that apparently wasn't going too well with the team who did Destruction All Stars. Remember that kind of arcadey battle royale, kind of car battle royale style thing from, I think, the launch year. Maybe it was 2020 or early 2021 in the end.
I remember it. Nah, can't remember it at all.
They were going to charge a premium, and then they made it a free-to-play game. And
Oh,
it
okay,
was,
maybe
and then it came
I
out and it
do
was still
remember
shit.
it now.
So
Maybe I do remember because people are going up, roaring about it, going, "Oh, why are we paying for this game? Paywall stuff.
There are-
So, oh, we'll do it for free." And then people said it was shit.
some job listings, and this is me just double checking and kind of refreshing myself now based on what Push Square have got. Aside from the Call of Mountain, which they obviously now released, they're apparently working on a dark story-driven horror game and a multiplayer action game built in Unreal 5. So they've got a few
No.
irons in the fire at the moment, and clearly very different games. They're also a massive studio. I think that like PlayStation's bought them, and I think they're in terms of just like the number of staff. I think the biggest team PlayStation has in Europe nowadays, or really close to it. So they inherited something big, and now they've just got to kind of help bring them up to that standard of their other first-party studios.
I think the biggest concern is multiplayer action. Usually, the word multiplayer and action put together
First-person shooter
could
be
very
SOCOM.
bad idea. Oh, the new COD. Oh, SOCOM. Oh, that'd be great.
They're not that far. I mean, Europe. I guess this connects to the next developer we'll talk about. But like, they're in Europe. Killzone was made there by Guerrilla. Maybe they're working on Killzone. I don't know. But I guess connecting to Guerrilla there, they've obviously just launched the DLC for Horizon Forbidden West, the Burning Shores DLC. Do you expect to see or hear anything from them at this event?
No. Except to just laugh at all those homophobes and say, screw you. And that's it. They can just... You get no game.
So...
No game for you.
I mean, there's all these different Horizon projects. Maybe one of them pops up, whether it's the remake, whether it's one of the, I think the 2 multiplayer games, because one of them was like NC Soft, as in the Guild Wars guys, and the other is apparently the multiplayer action game that Firesprite's working on, the one that the footage I think leaked out for, that, as I've mentioned multiple times, I have on my computer because I was quick to download that once it popped up on the internet. Maybe one of those 3 are good to go. They've obviously confirmed the Horizon 3 is in the works, but that'll be...
Well, I think that was obvious after you played Forbidden West. You already knew straight away there was going to be a third one.
Yeah, the number of people that were writing articles about the DLC going, oh my god, there's going to be a third game. Like, mate, did you not play the main campaign at the end?
Yeah, there's this big thing that people need to know, this thing called Nemesis. Yeah. And that's what I want to know, what Nemesis is. I want to play it.
End spoilers. So yeah,
it's code name. It's not the real thing. It's just called
exactly right. Yeah, we don't exactly know what it is yet. So
it's just a word. People relax. Yeah. Even I don't know what it is. Even when I have played it, I just looked at Nemesis. I want to play. I want to know more about it.
It's actually Nemesis from Resident Evil. So it's going to really underwhelm because Resident Evil 3 sucks compared to the other 3 around it.
Oh no. You can't do that.
But I guess one thing we can be sure of is that whenever Horizon 3 does come out, I don't know, 25, 26, 2027, whatever it happens to be, we know that at the same time that game comes out, there is going to be a world-changing game that's going to launch about a week beforehand or a week after.
Perfect Dark.
yeah, let's go with that. Whatever it's going to be. I mean, obviously 2017 it launched alongside Breath of the Wild. 2022 it launched alongside Elden Ring. So of course there's going to be some ground-shaking game that's going to launch right around the time that Horizon 3 comes out.
It's called Horizon. It's called Horizon 3.
It is the ground-shaking one.
Game. Yeah, probably The Witcher or something. It'd be something just that.
Look, I can get around that. I can get around that a bit as my...
Or it could be Fire Dick Simulator. Fire Dick Simulator 2027.
Yeah. I don't know this.
Or Dickland.
There's Zelda references there for people. There's a lot going on when it comes to Zelda at the moment. And thankfully it's not causing Horizon any issues. But next up is Housemarque. They're the Returnal folks. I actually watched back, like leading into this episode, I watched back the 2020 and the 2021 showcases. Just to, I guess, refresh myself on some of the things that they announced there. Go on.
I should also say as well, I put up a tweet last week. I thought, sure, this showcase is better than the last one, which I got, for some stupid reason, got my showcases and state of plays mixed up until you put the video up saying it was good last year. Then I saw that showcase, I thought,
the 2021 one, yeah.
I got it mixed up. I was thinking of the last state of play, which was rubbish.
What was the last state of play?
The one was just pretty much had nothing but 20 minutes of Suicide
Squad.
Oh,
yeah, the Suicide Squad one, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I was referring to, and then I forgot when I saw the word showcase, I went, shit.
Yeah, this is the big deal.
And delayed the tweet, because I knew straight away that...
Oh, did you? I didn't even notice that.
I stuffed up, yeah. I will admit, I jumped the gun and didn't do the research.
So yeah, the 2020 showcase, when they announced Returnal, I was interested to note that Herman Hulse actually referred to it as a franchise, not a new IP or anything like that. He said franchise specifically. So I
But
don't
they're
know.
not
I mean,
known
does
for
that mean
doing
that they're
sequels.
hey?
You would think they'd be a say. It would say that said they're not known for making sequels, but maybe they've changed their mind since being purchased by PlayStation. They say, "Hey, here's some money, make a sequel.
Make more. So
You got it, Jim. No problem."
I don't know. It'd be interesting. I mean, Returnal was awesome. So and they've
I haven't
supported
played
it
it yet,
really
so I don't know.
thoroughly. So what was that?
I said I haven't played it yet, so I don't know.
Oh,
But
yeah, you'll love it when you
I
get a
probably
chance.
will enjoy it. There's too many damn games I'm trying to play because Ratchet
It'll
and
break you
Clank
a bit.
came out. Ratchet and Clank came out this week on the PlayStation
Oh, I did too. Yeah,
subscription stuff, so I thought I'm gonna play that because I wanted to play
that was
that
Rift
when it
Apart, right?
first came out. Yes, it was.
Yeah, you're in for a good
So I
time.
thought, I'm already in for a good time. I've already played it. I thought I'm having a good time.
Um,
Great.
do you have any thoughts when it comes to Housemarque? Like, is it Returnal 2? Is it something else? Do they go
Oh,
back to all the arcade stuff?
well, I would think they would do another Returnal, a second Returnal. Like I said, I haven't played the first one, so I can't really tell you much about it. But everyone liked Returnal,
Yeah,
except when you die. Except when you died because people got angry,
which is all the time.
which is all the time. But people enjoyed it, and if you enjoy a game, well, actually, if people enjoyed the game, not if it got a good rating or a rubbish rating, well, which is another studio
Yeah.
down the list. It's not the next one. Don't worry about it. But we'll talk about that one later.
We'll inch towards that one.
But being that Returnal was I don't know. It was not the first time wasn't the first time that they made a PlayStation game, but after
they've
they
done
made
heaps,
Returnal,
yeah.
they've done heaps. But after they did Returnal, Sony's gone, hey, here's some money. Come work with us.
I feel like that deal was already pretty much set with them because they'd always done the really arcadey style thing, and then all of a sudden they start doing this super AAA high budget thing. I'm like, okay, PlayStation's throwing money at that, and I reckon there was if it's successful, we'll pick you up, and it was, and they picked him up.
So why not make a second one then if that's the case?
Exactly right. So next up is London Studio, who I mean are typically Blood and Truth, but mostly known for SingStar and iPet and all those sorts of things.
Wow.
But the thing that does get forgotten, I guess Blood and Truth is the thing that connects it. Do you remember The Getaway from back on the PS2?
I do.
They made that.
They make that?
They made that.
Come on, you got to make a sequel to it. Another one for that. Or a remake.
Yeah,
I don't care.
That'd be amazing. But they're working on an online game at the moment that's kind of, I think it's like set in London. There are screenshots of it, actually. I'll see if I can...
So, no, Australia won't get it then if it's online.
No, what is it?
Yeah,
it's not... London Studio.
Ben Studio. No,
yeah,
hey,
sorry, I was thinking about Ben. We're jumping the gun. We'll get to them. Shortly. New PS5 game.
I'm making a fantasy-based online co-op.
Oh, you've already found it?
That was a link on that thing you sent me.
Oh, cool. Oh, I didn't even... Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, there's a bit of key art around it. It's sci-fi, but there's dragons. There's it's going to be online, so there's a lot that we don't know.
I think Diablo mixed with something else.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
So, I mean, and that was... I can't remember how long ago that was. They announced it now. October of last year. So, I mean, it's been another 9 months. They've obviously kind of half announced it to the world. Maybe they're in a point where they can actually show it off a little bit. I reckon they might be missing at this one though. I reckon maybe it's one more year before we see whatever this thing is, and then go from there. There's obviously another big name multiplayer game that I assume we're both going to talk about and speculate on being there. So maybe this one kind of falls by the wayside for now. Any other thoughts though on London Studio?
No.
Media Molecule is pretty well cooked at the moment, having just now cancelled Dreams. By chance, or not cancelled, but like ended development on Dreams. By chance, do you reckon they've had something cooking on the sidelines that is ready to pop up?
Well, I'd say yes. What it is, I don't know. Is it Big Little Planet? Is it not?
Just to flip the script completely. I reckon they've got nothing. I reckon they've been working on this thing the entire time, and it'll be like 2 or 3 years before we finally see anything get announced from them. But I'd like to be wrong, but I reckon they've... I reckon they've been all chips in on Dreams the entire time, and the cord got cut, and now they've got to go, oh, fuck, well, now we've got to make a game. So,
what do we do?
what do we do?
Dreams? No, we already did that.
Can't do that. Little Big Planet 4. I don't know.
Sack Boys.
Tearaway 2. I don't know.
Plenty of options. Oh, God.
And probably new IP, because they are a really creative team, but we'll just have to see how we go. I don't think either of us have really got anything to contribute when it comes to Nix's. They're basically PlayStation's team that they've picked up to do PC ports. So, I mean, maybe we get an announcement or two of some games that are coming to PC. Ghost of Tsushima, for example.
Or maybe they fixed The Last of Us on PC. They can be the heroes.
Yeah, they might be the ones that have to pick that up. So, we'll see what happens there. But I'm sure they're lending their support to it already. But yeah, maybe there's an announcement of some new games coming to PC, but that's about it. I reckon Ghost of Tsushima, if there's going to be one.
God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, I feel like maybe too soon.
That's too soon. Yeah, way too early.
They could make way too. Still a ton more sales for that one. So we'll see.
I was going to say Returnal, but that's already on there.
Yes, yeah, that's already made the jump and didn't sell very well when it first rocked up.
Bloodborne.
Holy shit. I'm sure we'll probably find ourselves talking about Bloodborne or something at some point. I reckon there's a chance.
The game that people put in their top 10 of best games all time. You idiots.
Yeah.
Stupid idea.
Souls games don't belong there. But anyway, next up, a studio. Again, I don't think we have much to contribute. Savage Game Studios, which is a mobile team. Now, considering they're talking about focusing on PS5 and PSVR 2, I don't see any reason why they would be featuring whatsoever. So,
no.
Let's move on from them. The last one, which again is kind of a vague one as well, but they do have some projects that they're kind of working on. The XDev team, which has always just been like an external party support team, really. So they're currently working on. They're working with Team Ninja. Was it Team Ninja? I'm mixing up my Rise. Yeah, Team Ninja. They're working with Team Ninja on Rise of the Ronin at the moment, which was we had their one samurai game or whatever it was earlier in the year from Team Ninja. Wolong. That's right.
Wolong.
This was the other game that was being worked on, but this was being worked on with PlayStation specifically. I reckon that game might show up, actually. Maybe not a huge showing, but I think that might show up. And the other one is Stellar Blade, which was the team. I can't remember their name, but it was a South Korean team. It's been at every PlayStation showcase since the PS5 was announced. So the one that really looked super Bayonetta-y, if you recall. It was almost like a really high, like a high sci-fi, but Bayonetta.
Okay. No, can't remember it at all.
Looks really, really cool. I reckon, but I feel like both of those games will probably show up. So I guess XDev will have a presence, and maybe they're working with someone else as well. That maybe something that gets announced at the showcase. But any thoughts on XDev before we move to the American teams?
No, let's just move on to the North American teams,
which is certainly the biggest chunk these days. But Bend, do you expect anything from them? Days Gone was 2019 now.
Yeah, but like I said, didn't go well with reviews with some idiots because it was a 7 out of 10 and 7 out of 10 nowadays is not good enough for
it's trash. Sequel. Get it out of here.
Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. 7.5. Oh, it's passable.
Yeah. That half a grade.
Let's say just what they make Bubsy 3D. No, let's
Bubsy back in the day, let's ignore that. Siphon Filter, they have been putting out. They've remastered almost every single Siphon Filter game and put it up on PlayStation Plus since the they'd be very, very light remasters, but like
I was saying, the controls are horrible.
They've touched them up a little bit, and they've added trophies to them, and they've all gone up with the PlayStation Premium / Deluxe tiers. So I think you can buy them a la carte as well. I think, but they've been giving Siphon Filter a ton of love. It's almost every month there's a new Siphon Filter game that's been added to PlayStation Plus.
I know. It's like I thought there was only 3, and there's like another 2 that I never heard of.
I think there was like 6, maybe all up or something like that. I'll have to check.
There's like Siphon Filter 1, 2, and 3. Then they just went with names after the Siphon
Logan's
Filter.
Shadow is one.
Yeah, it's like Mission Impossible, except
there we go, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, the Omega Strain, Dark Mirror, and Logan's Shadow. And I actually am lost at this point as to which ones they've put up on.
All of them.
Are they all up now?
All of them. I think there's maybe all of them, maybe not. I know I went and looked today, 1, 2, and 3, and I'm pretty sure there was another 2 or 3 there.
Well,
Just
Logan's
thought,
Shadow, I think, just got added. The only one I'm iffy about maybe is the Omega strain one. I'm going to search for Siphon Filter right now on my PlayStation app and see what comes up. But yeah, I mean, they're kind of smashing it when it comes to those at the moment in terms of supporting supporting the PlayStation Plus classics and all that. So we've got Logan Shadow, Dark Mirror, Siphon Filter 1, 2, 3. So yeah, it looks like the only one that is missing at the moment is the Omega strain. So, and that's likely to pop up sooner rather than later. So I wonder if there's a chance that a new game will get announced, but they are supposedly working on a new IP. So we'll see.
That's not Days Gone.
No, there's definitely not Days Gone. So
maybe it's something like Siphon Filter then.
I mean, that'd be cool. It'd be nice, like if they had 2 projects in the works. So yeah, they've got this new IP, whatever that is, and then they're reviving Siphon Filter at the same time. That'd be pretty sweet. And I think there'd be a lot of people real keen on that. But we'll have to wait and see. I don't think otherwise there's probably too much going on when it comes to Bend. But this next one will be an interesting one to see where your head goes. Bluepoint, the team responsible for so many really awesome remakes in recent years. The Uncharted Nathan Drake collection. They even ported Titanfall back in the day. They've done the remakes of Shadow of the Colossus, Demon's Souls. What are they doing next? And is it Bloodborne 2?
Probably something that no one asked for. That's the way I look at it. I don't know if it's Horizon or.
Oh jeez, yeah, that could be. I guess they could be the ones remaking Horizon. That'd be.
But man, it'd be something stupid if people go, "Why?" But they could throw a spanner in the works and bring something back. I can't think off the top of my head what it would be. Because I'm trying to think of, because most of them have already been, the big ones I should say, have already been remastered, already done or maybe something from PS3, because no one can play PS3 games in Australia.
Infamous. Oh my god, Infamous.
Oh, that'd be good.
I mean, we did an episode recently on the Konami stuff and Metal Gear Solid 3 being remade. They've also done the remasters of the Metal Gear games back in the day, so maybe they're the ones. There's word that I think it was Virtuous Studios might be working on it, but if it's not Virtuous, then I would imagine it's Bluepoint, assuming the whole thing's real, which I think at this point it's clearly real. So, and I'm sure we'll talk about that part of it soon as well. But yeah, if it's not Metal Gear, I don't know. It could be anything. I mean, it could be Bloodborne. People are desperate for Bloodborne, and PlayStation owns the IP, so you don't have to worry about FromSoft in the whole thing. But who knows? Next up is one of the new studios, Firewalk. I mean, I think the question in this case isn't so much what are they making, because they haven't got any prior works, really, in terms of stuff for PlayStation. All we know is it's an online multiplayer game that'll be a new IP. So I guess the question is simple. Do you think their new game will be, like their debut game will be there? PlayStation's bought them in the last 12 months. And I would imagine that's because they like what they see, but is it at the point where it's ready to show, do you reckon?
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm no as well. I think that's
probably be a state of play later on in the year or something.
Or next year's showcase or something like that, yeah.
Because
maybe it's Jeff Keighley.
Maybe.
Because I think it was Jeff Keighley that announced it. I think it was one of his showcases where that was announced, so we'll see. I guess same question then for the next one. Haven Studios, which is the Jade Raymond team. Jade Raymond responsible for creating Assassin's Creed, Watch Dogs. She had a big hand to play in... She got screwed over a few times over at EA. She worked with them on Squadrons, which was the X-Wing game.
Star Wars, yeah.
But also she was working on several different games that all got torched, including the Amy Hennig third-person action one that EA scrapped. The one like Visceral's doing, as in the Dead Space developers, that then got cancelled.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. She kind of walked that same path as Amy Hennig for a while and just was kind of getting torched everywhere along the way. She was over at Google working on, whatchamacallit. What was the online thing? Google...
Stadia.
Yeah, Stadia.
Stadia.
So, and like obviously they shut, like she was kind of heading their first party, and then they decided they didn't want to do Stadia anymore, so she got torched there as well. She had a really rough road.
No one cared.
And then
two questions there.
Yeah,
they wanted because it was rubbish. That's why.
Pretty much. But she went and formed a new studio after that. That was Haven, with a few people that left with her, and PlayStation scooped them up almost instantly. So, again, like they've now officially bought the studio. They must really like what's going on, but do you reckon we'll see it?
No.
Yeah, my gut says no.
It's way too early.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, the next one.
They could just turn up and go, hey, we're working on something, then just walk off. I don't really care. It's just, I don't think they'll have anything to show. Unless it's like GTA 6 quality, then probably not.
Yeah. And look, it could well be, but yeah, it's just probably a little bit further down the pipeline, I reckon. The next one, I've got 3 simple questions for you. So we're talking about Insomniac games. First one, Spider-Man. I think it's obvious it's going to be there because it's meant to be coming out later this year. It's going to be coming out in September from all reports. We'll probably get the release date. But where during the showcase do they show it? Do they kick off with that? Do they close with it? Is it somewhere in the middle?
Ooh, unless they got something big to show at the end, I'd say in the middle. Just so people... They're definitely not at the start because everyone would just go, cool.
I'm totally of the thinking that they'll kick off with this and be like, they're going to have some big dick energy. Like, we're going to kick off with this, beat you over the head with it. It's going to be amazing. It might be 5 or 6 minutes. They'll show a bit of gameplay. There'll be a trailer, all that sort of thing. And then it's going to kick off the rest of the show, which they just reckon is going to be huge.
Yeah, hopefully that big dick energy doesn't deflate after Spider-Man. It could. Maybe they do that and just go,
Can you imagine if this showcase is a bust after nearly 2 years of waiting? Holy shit.
Oh, I'd laugh. Just all those fanboys would be sitting in the corner crying, going, how did we mess this up so badly?
I mean, I'd be one of them, I reckon. This seems like the most obvious of slam dunks, this event for them. But
and then they'll be there trying to do the research and where it all went wrong and details and going, it goes back to one person. His name is Jim.
Jim. Crying Jim.
It's the controller. It's the golden controller that does not fit. It's like Cinderella.
So, all right. So we obviously differ when it comes to where Spider-Man will be. Next question. Wolverine, will it be there?
Yeah.
That's fair.
That could be at the end.
Slightly on the fence, but yeah, I think they'll keep them further apart. Whereas when they actually announced both of those games, it was literally Wolverine out of nowhere because they didn't. They gave nothing away with that one. Then they had Gran Turismo 7 in the middle, and then boom, Insomniac was back again, and that was where they announced Spider-Man 2. So like they kind of really went hard in the space of like 6 or 7 minutes there with that one. It was pretty intense, but yeah, I think they'll spread them out this time because Spider-Man's obviously much closer to launch. Wolverine's still apparently on track for maybe late next year. So at this point, maybe they need to show something. Maybe they have gameplay for it. I don't know. And the third question...
Wolverine's face. That's it. Third question.
I mean, that could be something, yeah. It might just be a tiny little teaser again. The third question is, do they have something else?
Ooh.
Obviously, this is the team that does Ratchet and Clank. You're playing Rift Apart at the moment. They've done Sunset Overdrive. They've done so many... Resistance. They've done so many different things over the years. Hell, they even did Fuse with EA, which was shit, but that was definitely not their fault. That was all EA for, rinsing that one. Do they? And they've done a bunch of VR, actually. That's really important. I mean, they've done a bunch of VR games for Meta before getting picked up as well.
Meta.
Or Facebook, whatever.
Facebook,
Oculus.
yeah. I just love the word Meta. It's like, what a silly place.
Yeah, it's a dumb name. But do you think they'll have a third thing to show off?
Knowing Insomniac, they probably do. That's just...
They never sleep.
For some reason, they just pull things out of their ass and think, oh yeah, they're working on that. And then all of a sudden, they just bring out something else they're working on. You're thinking, how the hell do they do this?
They're working on 20 games. What's going on?
They got their management plan down to like a fine tooth. They're just nailing everything. It's always on time as well. There's no major stuff ups.
Yeah.
It just works smoothly every time. You don't hear anything bad about it. It's like, oh, there's a major issue, this or that. It's like, nope, works fine. You're like, how do you do it? How do you do it on a 40-hour week?
Works great, and it's always a 9 out of 10 sort of game.
Always. It could be a Ratchet and Clank. We haven't had one for what, 3 years? Or maybe, or did it get delayed?
No, it was 2021. Came out 2021.
2 years. Okay, maybe that's
probably a bit soon.
Resistance. They need a first-person shooter. They really
shit. like the Infamous thing. If Resistance comes back,
Killzone's back.
Just look out if Resistance or Infamous come back. But yeah, my gut says no for that other one. I reckon they'd give Wolverine, give Spider-Man the spotlight, and then I don't know, 6 months later be like, Yeah, they're working on something else. Here it is. Done. Naughty Dog. Now, this is the one I was talking about before when it comes to multiplayer projects. They obviously have the Last of Us multiplayer game, whether it's Factions 2 or whatever they end up calling it. Are we going to see it?
Yeah.
Are we going to see gameplay?
Yes.
Are we going to see a release year
Ooh,
or a beta?
I don't know. Maybe a beta. I reckon a beta because they need to get the multiplayer tested because they've been talking about it for ages. When did The Last of Us 2 come out? Like 2 years ago?
2020.
What?
It's been almost 3 years since The Last of Us Part 2 came out.
Oh my. 2020. Oh, it did come out on PS4. I just realised that now. But 2020, we still haven't got no multiplayer.
Yeah.
Neil, what are you doing besides making TV shows?
Well, I mean, it sounds like it's like going to have a full-on kind of campaigny sort of thing to it. The longer this takes and the less they say, the more I feel like it's going to be. I was worried it was going to be more like a Factions 2, which I know, Buddy Watson, if you're watching and listening, you're probably screaming at me for not supporting Factions like you'd argue I should. I've never encountered anyone who loves Factions more than him. He's total pro at the whole multiplayer mode. But anyway, the longer it takes, the more I feel like it's not going to be that competitive multiplayer thing and more like a Destiny Division style thing. A bit more co-op.
Roam around.
Yeah.
But you can't play with other people if you want to.
Yeah, so like, maybe it's a case of like you go to certain cities or whatever it is, and it sounds like it's going to be in that San Francisco region again. Like maybe you go to certain spots within the city, and that's where you can party up with people, and then you go out, and whether that's for like a kind of a crafted mission, whether it's like a Dark Zone style thing from a Division thing where there's a little bit of the competitive that can come out there. I'm hoping it's that sort of experience. I'm like the Division is what I'm picturing in my head, them building on that sort of model more so than Destiny, but wait and see. But I think we're of the same mind. It's definitely going to be there. I think that at the very least they have to announce a beta. It may be maybe a release year or whatever comes with it. Any other thoughts on Naughty Dog related things? Do we see The Last of Us Part 3 or some new IP?
I'd say some new IP. I don't want to see Uncharted.
They're not doing Uncharted.
Oh, good. They don't need to. Way 4 ended. Leave it at that.
Oh, I'm going to break your heart later, but they're not doing Uncharted.
Oh, no. I don't want... don't break my heart.
They're not doing Uncharted, but if you...
I don't want an Uncharted. I don't want another Uncharted.
But if you don't want to see Uncharted, you got another thing coming, but we'll talk about that soon.
What? Another movie?
No, I'm not talking about movies. I'm talking about games.
Oh, no.
But
no.
We'll get to that soon enough. There might have been something that slipped through your radar at one point in the last couple of months. But
yeah, definitely.
I mean, The Last of Us Part 3 is obviously going to happen. I hope that there's a new IP first. That there's something they're working on along the side. We'll have to wait and see, though. Next up on our list is the now defunct Pixel Opus. So we know they're not going to be doing anything because they close in 2 weeks. So sorry to all of them again. Really unfortunate scenario, but is what it is. San Diego studio. I guess an intriguing one because there's been rumors that they've been kind of growing in size, that there might be even a second team that's popping up there that it might be working on an Uncharted game. But they are the team that's also known specifically for MLB. So I don't think there'll be any MLB there. No one's going to care about that at that show. But any chance that we see anything else from them? Whether it's Uncharted or something else?
Maybe a baseball player. And that's it.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah, not a lot to them, I don't think. Next one is interesting. I'm really interested to see what you've got to say about this one. Santa Monica Studio. So obviously they've just put out God of War Ragnarok. But there's been all these reports about Cory Barlog. He wasn't really working on Ragnarok that much. That there's been talk that he's been working on some space game, some sort of new IP. Santa Monica has tried the new IP thing in the past, around the time of God of War Ascension. After that, Stig, I can never pronounce his name right, but Stig Asmussen or whatever. He's the head of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor. I actually got to speak to Jason DeHeras, who's the combat designer for Dev Diary. Literally yesterday, it is now public for people to check out as well. And we were talking about that the fact that they had a project in the works over there at Santa Monica that was kind of sci-fi, but then was ultimately cancelled. And that was because he was laid off and he left, and then he partnered up with Stig at Respawn, and they end up going on to make Star Wars Jedi. So they've clearly tried to step away from God of War in the past, or at least do something alongside God of War in the past. Do you think that that's happening again, and do you think we'll see it?
Oh, it's a tough one. I sort of feel like that makes sense now that Jedi Fallen Order feels like God of War, but it's not.
Yeah,
The
Stig. Yeah,
sci-fi thing.
it's far more like God of War 3, obviously specifically than say God of War 2018 or Ragnarok, because Stig was the head for God of War 3.
Oh, there you go. Well, possibly. I don't know. It's one of those things. If it's not God of War, then what the hell is it? Journey 2. Is it Journey 2 in sci-fi space?
Yeah, I guess they did
The
oversee.
Order.
Holy
An Order
shit!
sequel. New and improved Order 1886 with more gameplay than cutscenes and walking. Director's
If
cut.
if that were to happen, the walls would fall off this shed. If they actually announced it, but for me, Corey teases too much for there not be something. So I mean, I genuinely believe he's working on something on the side, and it's not going to get cancelled, and it is starting to get deeper and deeper into development. And I reckon this is the game that they end the showcase with. Whatever it is, I reckon this is the big. You weren't expecting Santa Monica to be here because they've just put out God of War. Bang, here it is. And jaws hit the floor sort of moment.
It's Kratos in Rome.
Kratos
No,
in space.
No, in England. Space. Or he's gone to Earth too.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. So yeah, I think this is how they end it, and it's yeah, obviously not God of War. I think it's the new IP thing, but yeah, I think this is how they end the show. I think this is their big one.
Well, we definitely know there's not going to be a sequel to Ragnarok.
Not anytime soon. Yeah.
Not anytime soon, or at all. Who knows? Nobody knows except Corey and a big bag of money.
Yeah. Next up, Sucker Punch. Now, this one, there's been some rumors swirling about them already that a few people have kind of been. I mean, a lot of people are expecting Ghost of Tsushima 2. That was a bit like The Last of Us 3 years ago now. But there's already been some reports that they will not be there. I mean, do you believe it?
Oh, no. It's a lie. I feel like they'll show. There's got to be like something. Ghost of Tsushima 2 or something. I feel like they're just pulling our leg. Or they might not be there. They actually didn't come.
I believe it, I think. I think, like, if everything else, and I guess we're going to really start to get into all of our other expectations and predictions shortly, but, like, if all of that is even kind of close to accurate, then I don't reckon there's any need for them just yet. I know Jim's kind of saying throw the kitchen sink at it, but you probably don't actually need to throw everything at it. Otherwise, you leave yourself no surprises for down the road.
No.
So,
I mean...
Well, I mean, it won't be a surprise, but it leaves you no announcements for down the road.
Or his gym line. He doesn't really have the kitchen sink. He's just...
I wish I could remember what the phrase was.
He's just got a basin instead. A small wash bowl. That's what Jim has. Not a kitchen sink.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Yeah, it's just... yeah, a laundry trough to throw, not a kitchen sink.
Laundry trough, there we
go. So I guess any other thoughts on Sucker Punch at all? Could they be? Could they be doing anything else? Sly, Infamous.
I wish, but no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I believe them when they said last year or the year before that they weren't working on either, and no one else was. That part of it might have changed. Maybe someone else is working on it now, but I believe that they aren't in any way, shape, or form.
They sent out a tweet straight away saying, no, we're not. But then after that, they go, maybe it might be a good idea to...
Yeah, how about we find someone to work on that?
How about we do it again?
So, I don't know.
There's plenty of PlayStation Studios, other PlayStation Studios that's not doing much. Why don't get them to help out and do something?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think they're a busy studio. I think like Ghost of Tsushima 2 is obviously in development or whatever it'll end up being called. And I think Legends is going to become like a full-blown game in the future. Like I think it'll be one of the live service games that we'll see over the course of the next few years. And because the scope of that will be so much bigger, I think those two projects combined will be consuming all of their resources. So I don't think they'll actually have anything else left to give. So I think Sucker Punch is a no for me. Valkyrie Entertainment, I don't think either of us have much to really say with them. They've kind of been an assist studio over the journey. I think that's pretty much what they were hired to do when they were picked up in late 2021, early 22, somewhere in that sort of window. They helped with God of War Ragnarok still. I don't think they're working on their own IP.
Oh, Infamous then. Yeah, get him on that then.
Yeah,
Like Hooper, Infamous.
yeah, that gives them something to do. Um, any thoughts on them at all, or are we about to move over to
No,
our broader predictions?
no, I don't think there's much to talk about. They're probably doing their own thing or working on with someone else, as they probably do.
That's fair.
So I don't see much of it happening.
All right, so now we'll move over to some like bigger picture predictions and those sort of things. And I'll kick things off. I'll throw over to you immediately after this, but I'll kick things off by just addressing that Uncharted thing from before.
Yes.
So regardless of I guess where it's being made or who's doing it or whatever, there was an ad that came out earlier this year. I think it was promoting a whole bunch of PlayStation stuff, for, like obvious first parties. I'm going to see if I can find. Of course, it's just. Oh, there we go. There's a little. Oh, no, that's like a 11-minute clip. I'll find something that has it anyway. But there was an ad that went out. It was covering a whole bunch of things. It began with Spider-Man, Miles Morales. It was kind of teasing a little bit of Spider-Man 2. A whole bunch of stuff that was basically to come this year, and some stuff that had already come out. And then just somewhere along the way, it was the odd one out. There was this sequence of someone walking through, like, it wasn't Nathan Drake, but walking through kind of dark environment, holding a torch up, looked very, very Uncharted-like, and just nothing's been said about it since. January 30, I'm going to send you a link to an article. I'll do it over Facebook so I don't wreck our Discord call. But yeah, it's a really, really fascinating one because it's only seconds. Like, it's really, really brief, but everyone's thinking that that's probably Uncharted and that there's an Uncharted in development. It could be the San Diego team that we were talking about before. It could be anyone else, but
could be Tomb Raider.
That's the one thing I'm sure it's not. So, but yeah, check it out for yourself. It's probably about a minute long trailer. I've sent you the link for the whole thing. Feel free to, as we go through all this stuff. But I guess tossing it over to you with that one, and because I guess you'll have some thoughts to share on that shortly. What are some of the ideas that you do have for this showcase, or do you want me to continue on for a little bit so you've got time to check out that Uncharted thing?
No, you can continue. I'm like, I'll check out the Uncharted thing later. It's not. If it's only like a few seconds, then there's nothing to be concerned. That's as long as the old man Drake's not in there, because he's at that point in his Uncharted life where if he just does a big jump, he's gonna do his hip. I don't care if there's.
It's just gonna be Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones, yeah. Just a stunt double every time he swings over. But if it's just to do with Chloe, is it Chloe? I think it's Chloe.
Spoilers for people. Cassie was his daughter. That was from Uncharted 4. And that's also who people think is in this trailer, just to be clear.
No.
I mean, there's nothing really to, like, we can't be sure about that, but that seems like it might be the case. All right, so yeah, I guess if you're planning on checking that out now or whatever, I can keep going with some of my predictions as we go through this. Death Stranding 2, I think will show up.
Oh yeah,
Kojima's obviously already announced it, so that'll come along.
And then there's pictures. He's been posting pictures everywhere at the moment of.
He's hanging out with everyone.
With old Norman Reedus and that.
Oh, has he done more with Norman Reedus?
Oh no, it's just like the Death Stranding 2 posters with all the characters, and which looks like an octopus in a baby's canister thing, like the one from Death Stranding.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I'm starting to see some of his recent tweets and
or a baby. Or a baby-infused octopus. I don't actually know. It's like that thing not from Toy Story. I don't know what it is. It's like something from Pirates of the Caribbean. It's a baby.
He retweets so much fan art that you lose his own tweets in there. As I'm trying to scroll
there's a lot of stuff he just tweets.
Loves anyone who wants to talk about his stuff.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, that's fair.
Of course he would.
So yeah, I think Death Stranding will show up. Connected to that, I guess we were talking about the Konami stuff before. Metal Gear, I think Metal Gear will show up. Maybe we get the whole trio that have been speculated on. I mean, Silent Hill 2 is obviously already in development for PS5. That's meant to be coming later this year.
I was just going to say one of them was going to turn up. Don't know if all three will. Maybe at least one.
Castlevania, if there's one to miss out, I feel like it might be Castlevania. I think Metal Gear's huge, and if you got if that's ready to go and you got the opportunity to do it, then you pull the trigger on it. Silent Hill 2's already been announced, so then yeah, maybe Castlevania is the one that you don't go, or maybe they say, hey, we're working on one, but that's it. Um, one that I don't know whether it's like me wanting, like trying to wish this into existence now, or whether it might actually be at a point where it's ready. Like a sequel to Monster Hunter World specifically, not Rise. The next
Oh,
big proper, full on like Ultra HD Monster Hunter. I'm hoping for that, but I don't know if that's like some sort of long shot. So
I don't see why it would be a long shot. It's been long enough. Well, actually, I didn't think it was that long. It was like 5 years ago or 6 years ago.
yeah, 2018. Yeah,
Monster Hunter World, I should say, not Rise, came out. So it should be time for another Monster Hunter game that's not on the Nintendo. Or come out on Nintendo first, I should say.
yeah. If they want to try and make it work through, I don't know, some online cloud shit or whatever later, that's fine. But yeah, Monster Hunter World 2, I feel like it's time. And now all the DLC has come out for Rise. Now that it's come to PlayStation and Xbox as well, so they've kind of cleared the slate completely with all the Monster Hunter Rise stuff, and they can now just 100% work on that if that is their next project. And I'm sure it is. I'm sure like it is the Monster Hunter team that's just working on new Monster Hunters all the time. So
then
there's also that mobile game.
And we could also finally get a Crash Bandicoot DLC for your little sidekick, like they did with Sonic.
Oh, yeah, great. Can't wait. I mean, Crash Bandicoot's coming out this month anyway. The Crash.
Team Racing.
No. The
another Crash game?
Not Bash. Crash.
Crash SingStar. Crash Bash.
Crash. I'm just going to check June 2023 because I know it's.
I think I do
June.
remember that.
No, that's too vague. It's talking about financial crashes. Crash Bandicoot, June 2023.
Oh, yeah.
Crash Team Rumble, June 2023.
Oh, yes. I completely forgot about Crash Team Rumble because I don't care about it.
They're saying is like the third installment in the party game genre in the Crash Bandicoot series. So they're getting pretty liberal there. I guess it's like Crash Bash and whatever.
I thought they were talking about the 2 Crash Team Racings that they've already done.
I'm not too sure. Really. Yeah, there's 2 Crash Team Racings. There was whatever Crash Boom Bang was in 2006.
What?
Crash Boom Bang, which is it's kind of a party game in the end.
Do you use the Guitar Hero controllers for that? I
don't know. Thanks Wikipedia. That's something I don't think I needed to know about. But
completely pointless.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be seeing any Crash Bandicoot in my Monster Hunter, thankfully. And I guess if there's one other one, but maybe before I throw over to you and we can kind of then wax about a few of your ideas. The other one that I'm expecting, I'm not sure if I'm hoping or I'm actually expecting at this point. Ember Lab, which was the team who did Kena Bridge of Spirits back in 2021. It's been a couple of years now. Maybe they announced their next work. I reckon they're a team that PlayStation is eyeing off to pick up somewhere down the road.
Or next purchase.
I reckon that might be one of the next purchases. I think that's
okay.
We lost what's the name?
Pixel.
Yeah, Pixel Opus. Here's a team with a really distinct art style that put out a game that people adored and probably has more upside in them. And so let's grab them.
And then keep it for a few years, then shut them down like they did with.
Oh god.
Make one good game, and then you go on.
And then get out of here. So I'll toss over to you. I've got some more third-party sort of ideas, but I'll toss over to you so you can take the spotlight for a bit.
Take the spotlight. All right, well, first one is, I reckon we'll see some IP from Bungie, even though they're not part of the so-called the PlayStation Studios.
They're not part of PlayStation Studios, but they are obviously
they're
Sony.
owned by Sony, whatever. We'll see some from them. What that is, who knows? Marathons, just to go show all 20 of their games they're working on.
Oh, no, remember like Marathon was a franchise they did before Halo?
Did they?
Yeah.
It's been a long time. That's a long, long time ago.
Yeah, it's a long time ago, but apparently there's rumblings that they might actually be working on Marathon again. So, I don't know. Don't know whether I believe it or not, but it's chatter.
Okay. We'll probably see some stupid FIFA trailer for the next FIFA for some soccer player that I have no idea who they are. Great. And there's a World Cup as well, so they'll probably just jump on top of that. Oh, wait,
there's a World Cup again.
Women's World Cup.
Oh, yeah, okay.
In Australia. That makes it even worse.
Is the World Cup here in Australia? Okay, right.
And New Zealand.
Right.
They keep advertising it. I'm like, I don't care about soccer. It's a
I've
silly
missed all of
sport.
that.
If I want to watch someone dive, I'd go watch the Olympic diving at the Olympics.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they'll probably show. I don't know if it's maybe Cyberpunk DLC. I don't know if there's a release date for that yet, or they might not show anything at all. I don't know.
I don't think we'll see Cyberpunk anywhere near PlayStation. I think.
There we go.
Still off the back of the not taking it off the PlayStation Store business. I reckon it just. I think Cyberpunk and PlayStation is just incompatible now. Now they might try and partner up again when it comes to The Witcher 4 or the remake or whatever, but I don't think Cyberpunk and PlayStation are compatible names at the moment. So.
But you can play it for 5 hours for free on your stupid Games Pass equivalent of PlayStation.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, that's something. I mean, there's still too much money to be made, so they can't ignore them. Like, DLC will still come to them, but I think if it's going to happen, the Xbox showcase is only 2 weeks later, 2.5 weeks later. So.
And it's either one or the other. It's either going to be here or at Xbox. And the answer is it's going to be at Xbox. Because Xbox need all the games they need for their world premieres or first gameplay or whatever. Graphics that everyone's excited to watch instead of the games. It's like the Super Bowl in their ads. No one cares about the game. Everyone just wants to see world premiere on everything, or Game Pass day one, or whatever. Exclusive. Well, I was going to say exclusive to Xbox. Exclusive. But let's be honest. There's none at the moment. They might have something, but we're not talking about Xbox. That's for another chat.
Yeah, we'll have that episode I think in a couple of weeks.
The other thing is something from Square Enix.
Oh, they're primed.
But they'll just have. Is Final Fantasy exclusive for
Final
PlayStation?
Fantasy 16 is exclusive, and by the time the showcase comes along, the game is will be less than a month away. In fact, what are we recording today? What's the date today?
Date is somewhere in May.
It's as of when we record. It is
21st.
A month from tomorrow. So, I think we'll get like the launch trailer or something like that for Final Fantasy 16 for starters.
Oh, there we go. I would love to see a Guardians of the Galaxy game, but we know that's not going to happen, unfortunately.
They've axed the studio, so.
Well, there you go. What a shame. And
then, they're not dead. Embracer got them when Square Enix sold them. Yeah.
And then the final one, which I think you said there was the Ubisoft thing. I just thought they'll show Assassin's Creed Mirage. I don't know if it'll be gameplay or definitely won't be a release date because that would be at their Ubisoft.
They'll save it for their own show.
For their own thing. But I reckon we'll see another trailer for Assassin's Creed Mirage.
Apparently October. For that one.
Apparently. Okay.
Yeah. Still waiting for anything official on that, but apparently October. So
probably back to their old Halloween release date scheme, as they once used to do.
But everything I'm hearing still sounds like it's that throwback to the original Assassin's Creed sort of model. You got about 4 or 5 targets, and it's about collecting your information, and eventually they become available to assassinate, rather than just get your stats up real high and then go and kill, just bash your way through everyone like you can in the more modern Assassin's Creed games. So
just kick them off a ledge and on you go. As fun as it is, kicking people off a ledge,
it's not really being an assassin in the way.
It's not an assassin. Right. That's just being a brute. That's not an assassin.
So, do you have any other ones that you were going to throw out there?
No, I think you've already said the other ones. I did have Death Stranding 2. Mate, did we say Bloodborne 2?
We keep dancing around Bloodborne. We keep kind of referencing Bloodborne. We'll wait and see on that one. I wish I knew something.
But like I said, there'll be a
not that I want to play it, but I wish I knew something.
One of the a remake of one of the Konami games. Which one? Don't care.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter which one it is.
But Konami's getting back in the game.
But Konami is on the comeback of remakes. But still, people are going to absolutely love it.
So I'll toss out a few more ideas. Since it was just announced this past week, I reckon Mortal Kombat 12 will show up and we'll see some gameplay.
Oh, yeah. They're all going off the old Mortal Kombat 1.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I said 12. Yeah, sorry, Mortal Kombat 1, I should say, yeah. I haven't gotten my head around the naming convention on that one yet. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth,
Is
which
it
was
is it the
announced.
first one, or are they just going back to the start? They just got to
I,
11 and go right.
I think because of like their, I don't, look, I'm not a student of Mortal Kombat, let alone its plot, but like apparently there was something that
What
they did with
plot?
the, yeah. Apparently there
There's
was
no
something they did with
plot.
their story in Mortal Kombat 11 that basically rewound them back through time or something that allows them to basically just reboot their timeline.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's
Didn't
Mortal
know there was
Kombat
a
1 as
story.
a
It's
result.
just all I do is just punch people in the face, move on to the next person, then punch them in
Exactly
the
right.
face,
That's all I.
and rip their spine out, and
Yeah.
other things.
But apparently there's story too. So
Wow.
Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, continuing the Square Enix thing. I think that'll be there. They announced that about this time last year. They announced the Crisis Core remaster remake thing at the time. Said it was coming holiday, like all that like ended up December of last year. And then they said Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is guess part 2 of the remake stuff, would be 12 months later. So in theory, we are less than 12 months away now from actually getting that. If they stick to their current timeline, we were actually closer to 6 months away from getting that. So I think that might show up. Maybe they kind of have a Final Fantasy 16 and 7 Rebirth 1-2 punch there. I feel like on the VR side, maybe this is the time where we finally get Half-Life Alyx announced. Now that the platform's kind of kicked off and it's not flying, but PlayStation will be throwing the money at Valve saying, okay, we need it now. Can you just do it now, please? And maybe alongside that, we finally get
There is
shit,
no Half-Life.
the most beloved, the most popular
Awful.
game on Beat Saber. Beat Saber's got to come to PSVR too. They've like we know it's coming, but like the announcement's actually got to happen. So, the other one on the game side that I'll throw out there is Alan Wake 2, because Remedy keeps saying it's on track for later this year. They have not backed down from the back half of this year yet. So
And we haven't seen nothing except the trailer of
exactly.
his face.
Now Xbox might try and grab it because obviously there's history there. But when the definitive
And they
edition or the
need games.
remaster or whatever was announced, that was announced on the PlayStation stage. So I don't know. I don't know where they're at these days. They might go to PlayStation because they need to try and convince the PlayStation fans more who never actually played it in the first place and just assume that the Xbox people will pick it up anyway. Maybe do a Game Pass deal and they'll be happy. I don't know.
What Xbox people?
All 10 of
They're
them.
playing
at this
other
point.
games. All 10 of them.
So I guess the other it's not a game prediction anymore. It goes back to some of the hardware stuff that we were talking about a while ago. Do you think there's a chance that we see this Q Lite, which was the kind of remote play handheld platform? Do we hear talk about a redesign or PS5 Pro? All these things have been rumored and apparently pretty deep into development, but do we see any of them?
Possibly a PS5 Pro. Maybe the handheld as well.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board for the
I'd say
handheld.
more the handheld. More the handheld than the Pro. Because people are still buying PS5s. So why not just let them keep buying PS5s until you get to so many? Then bring out the Pro, then trade them in to EB, and then all they're going to have
and not get
PS5s.
nearly enough for your PS5, but then get your Pro for another $600.
Oh no, I'm just trying to think what the price of a Pro's going to be. Oh, be like $1,000.
Yeah, it'll get close to $1,000, I reckon.
And still the same 1 terabyte hard drive. That's
I'll be
just
popping out my SSD from my PS5 currently, my new SSD, and pop that straight into the Pro just so that I've got that space straight out the gate.
And then you can get the graphics and the performance mode that everyone wants.
Exactly. I'm with you on Q Lite, the handheld. I don't know about the rest, and I'm definitely with you when it comes to the PS5 Pro thing. To your point, like people are still buying them. Some people are only now finally starting to actually see them semi-regularly in stores. So to finally get your chance to buy it, maybe you just buy it, and then all of a sudden they go, "Here's a souped-up version." Like, oh, well, what the fuck did I just spend $800 for? If we're talking Aussie dollars.
I've been waiting 3 years for a PS5, and then all of a sudden they just go, "Oh, hey, here's the Pro."
So,
or they just bring out another fine selection of colored controllers that people will buy, like a lime green and some other stupid things.
I could see a slim version maybe, but that's about it.
A shiny black.
One that looks slightly less like female genitalia. like the PS5
controller?
currently does. No, I'm talking about the console itself, the shape
Right.
and the yeah. Anyway,
Who thinks
um,
like that?
it's strange
It,
design, and I hope they
it
change it.
it's no fridge. Let's be honest.
It's no Xbox fridge. Where are you? Gathering dust.
That one.
Oh yeah, there's yours. Yeah, I've got the Xbox Series and the fridge within like a meter of each other, and both of them don't get used. So I guess it's design wise it checks out. I'm racking my brain for anything game related. Okay, here's one for you. Strauss Zelnick, who is the head of Take Two, made a comment recently about their financials for the next financial year, and what he projected was an obscene number, like 10 times. I think if I recall, like 10 times their profits of the last few years. Now, for Take Two, that can only mean one thing.
Oh, Grand Theft Auto
GTA.
stuff. I was going to say Red Dead remake.
I mean, just like sure that might help a little bit, but 10 times your profitability, that to me says GTA. So, in the next 18 months or so, we're likely to get GTA 6.
Or 18 months? Possibly.
Well, I guess probably closer to 12, technically. Probably within the next year. Do you
well-
think they appear at a stage for like, and we can open this up to a PlayStation, Xbox, whatever, Jeff Keighley, whatever, or do they do what they've done with basically every GTA and Red Dead of the last 15 years and just pop up one day and boom, there it is?
I think just pop up one day because they can just do it. They don't need another platform to promote GTA.
That's fair.
People will just go nuts for it no matter where you see it. It'll just pop up on YouTube. Like when GTA 5 came, it was just this 2-minute trailer of just Los Santos and nothing else. And that was 2 years before it even came out, and people were going nuts for it.
They lost their shit.
And people will probably go nuts for it too because it's got T-poses and grey shading.
Yeah, because it'll be actually as it was intended this time around.
And it'll actually have trees and buildings and detailed cars. That's what the game's meant to look like in the end, not at the start. You dumbasses.
But we can definitely have more of this and just spin on the spot. And...
Yeah, why not have more T-poses?
I'll knock my mic. Another game that's just popped into my head.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember from, I think it was the 2020 showcase, it was a Capcom game called Pragmata. It looked super Kojima and Death Stranding, but it was like this space, weird, quirky sci-fi thing. It looks so much like a Kojima game. That was meant to come out in 2022.
It hasn't yet.
And then no, they kind of delayed it, didn't put a specific window on it, but I don't know, is presumably meant to be on track for this year now. I mean, does that... You obviously don't remember it, but I mean, given the timeline, I feel like that's a chance to maybe show up.
Oh, you would think if it's been what 2 years? Oh no, last year. I'm thinking a year ahead.
3 years since they revealed it, and a year since it was supposed to come out, or at least 6 months since it was supposed to come out.
Well, if Jim's run out of things to throw, then sure.
Just keep throwing Capcom at it.
Just throw Capcom. Anything Capcom. Everyone's not going to complain.
I'm trying to work through any publishers that we've not... EA hasn't really come to the table on anything here, but I don't think they have really anything to offer at the moment.
Just sports games, that's all they got.
So maybe
Respawn's already done their game. Respawn's done their game for make him look good.
Activision definitely won't be there.
Well,
no,
you never know.
But can you imagine? Holy shit.
I reckon the
Phil Spencer would be in tears.
I would say that whatever the union in England's called, they might be
CMA.
there. The CMA, they might be
PlayStation.
there. European Union, definitely not there.
Down with the cloud.
We want cloud.
Oh, yeah.
What is the cloud?
What has it got to do with video games?
They probably don't even know what a cloud is. They just want to throw in the word cloud. Yeah. So just show them a picture of a cloud. You can show them anything and say, this is the cloud, and they'll go,
it's just they show you a picture of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, they go, oh, why are we arguing about this prick? He's just got
some guy called Klaus and just got mixed up.
I'm racking my brain for anything else, but I can't think of anything else that's been announced already through one of their showcases that maybe needs to come back.
Suicide Squad? Might make a comeback?
No chance. I mean, look, they've clearly got a marketing deal, so maybe at some point it has to, but I don't think it'll be at this one. I think they'll be going, okay, let's put our heads back down, let's get back to work, let's try and get this thing right, and then show up in a state of play or a Keighley show later in the year, or maybe on their own terms. I don't know.
Or the Summer Games Fest,
Yeah,
which is, I think that's, is that in our that's not right, is it?
no, that's it. Yeah, Summer Games Fest it's Winter Games Fest really for us.
Winter Games Fest. No, that's way too close there.
Because it's all part of this Xbox, PlayStation stuff, and then Jeff Keighley's own show. So then he's got Gamescom in August, and then he's got
Gamescom,
the Game Awards at the end of the year.
Game Awards, yeah, probably the Game Awards.
Yeah, it could be
Dragon Age. You say EA Dragon Age?
Oh,
definitely not Mass Effect, because we haven't heard much from Mass Effect, so I don't think it'd be Mass Effect, but
no, I think that's
possibly Dragon Age.
It's possible. I feel like that might be more of a Keighley thing. That's my gut feel on that one.
Ooh.
But I mean, it has been a few times in the past. So.
What about Knights of the Old Republic? Whatever.
Oh, there you go. There's the big missing one. Surely, right?
We'd have to.
Like, I know they took it to PlayStation. PlayStation wasn't happy, and so they had to go back to the drawing board a bit. But it's been nearly 2 years. Nearly 2 years since they announced it.
They say they'll there boast and say, "Hey, we got your Xbox game on PlayStation now." Then it just went completely disappeared because, like you said,
PlayStation didn't like the quality.
They were not happy.
Yeah. Yeah, that was September 2021 when that was announced. So it's been getting closer to 2 years. So
what about Quantum Dream and whatever their Star Wars game was meant to be, the Eclipse one or whatever?
No, I feel like that's PlayStation, and they had a bit of a falling out, those two, PlayStation and Quantic Dream. So
what a shame. That's what happens when you're a dick.
Well, yeah. I think they knew about some of that stuff, and so when the 3-game contract deal was done after Detroit, as much as Detroit was awesome, I think they were pretty happy to just go bye-bye. Just let it
get out of here.
Get out of here. We don't need to deal with any of that reputation bullshit that's going to come up. So
get out of here, David.
Go and cry in court and not be one of ours. What's the I guess the Hail Mary announcement that you would just love to see as we wrap things up? Like, so now this is not based on anything. It's just what would have Matto losing his shit at this showcase?
If Jim came in and said, "We brought Activision," which is not going to happen. We've got to prove because we got it.
Yeah, yeah. Wondering why it's been trying to take so long. It's because you could never actually buy it from anyone.
So that's why he was in Belgium before. He wasn't there to block it. He was just there to just
buy it himself.
Get a deal going, buy it himself.
I mean,
but other than that, I don't really know.
If they went and announced that they were buying a publisher of some sort, the whole place would just. I mean, it's a virtual show, but like within the industry, the whole place would shake. It'd be enormous if they went and picked up whether it's a Japanese publisher or a Western one. It wouldn't matter. Like to say, hey, we've got this done. Like it's papers are signed. We're through. We're good. Though I'm sure it's basically impossible. I don't think it's actually possible for that to happen without something in the legal system kind of leaking out and people fighting it. But even just announcing their intent to be like, okay, Square Enix, we're putting a ring on it, or something like that. It'd be huge. But I mean, I'm hoping it doesn't go down a path because I'm kind of hating the tit for tat sort of thing that's going on with the buying. I don't know. For me, I mean, I've already kind of touched on it a little bit. If Infamous or Resistance came back, that's the one for me. Like I'm freaking out at that point. Yeah, no, even just looking around, like, yeah, it's got. I mean, sorry, I guess the other one, and this continues the Square Enix thing. The Final Fantasy IX remake was part of the Nvidia leak from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or whatever, and almost everything has come true at this point. Well, and the things that haven't come true have just not been announced yet. It's not that they've been confirmed to not be real or anything like that. So the Final Fantasy IX remake, I think, is 100% a thing, and I just hope that pops up. But I don't think it will, simply because Final Fantasy VII will probably be there. Final Fantasy 16 will be there. It's probably too much. So I'll have to keep waiting on that one. But that would be the one for me.
Or maybe they dub it up and bring out the old PS2 mini classic.
Oh my god. Oh, backwards compatibility. What if that happens?
Oh, tempted. Or they figure out how to work to get the PS3 thing working. So we can actually play PS3 games.
That's the one and there's reports from like insiders and and kind of tech people, that they are hearing that PlayStation is making progress, but it's almost like a case by case basis. It's not a we can develop this and boom, it just works for all. It's almost like they have to go and test game by game to get them all up and running. But if they are making progress like it sounds like, I don't know, maybe they're close enough where they go, okay, here we go, and here's the first 40, 50 games that are right to go out the gate, and then we'll add to it, like what Nintendo does with the Virtual Console or the Nintendo Switch Online, something like that. So, or I guess kind of what they're doing with the classics through PlayStation Plus anyway. So, could be that. But yeah, I guess probably Infamous or Resistance would be the top dogs for me. So, any other thoughts at all?
No, I think that's really it.
Yeah.
Unless they turn their PS5 into a sandwich press, I don't know.
And look, you can't rule it out at this point. The showcase is, for anyone watching and listening, and it's not already occurred at this point, Thursday, 6 a.m. Australian Eastern time, whatever. We're not daylight savings anymore. Yeah, just Australian Eastern time. So make sure to check that one out if you're keen. We are planning to put together. We're not going to be able to do it day of, but we're planning on doing a little extra patched episode where we recap it, because our next episode should be the updates. So we'll squeeze one in before the updates come out to recap and discuss kind of some of the best bits, I guess, from the showcase. So stay tuned for that sometime over the coming weekend. But otherwise, we'll wrap things up there. If you enjoyed this episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched, Player 2 Plays, Gamer School, probably some sort of live recap thing from me, or like watch along, whatever, from the showcase. So stay tuned for all that awesome stuff there. Visit the website player2.net.au for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. Stay tuned to a review from me of an absolute stinker that's coming out this week. It's been a
toilet simulator.
No, it's not toilet simulator, but it feels a bit like it.
I can't
Is it
a game?
Hint. I cannot hint.
Toilet simulator a game or plunger simulator?
If it's not, it will be soon enough. It's only a matter of time.
Plumbing simulator.
It's just a matter of time at this stage. You actually have the ability to see on the Player 2 YouTube channel now what that game might be. I don't think it'll be too hard for you, but you can't announce it, so don't say anything while we're wrapping up. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au, kicking a few bucks, lower tiers, early access episodes, higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives, and finally there's Twitter, Matto
_Phil.
Paul James Games for myself. The website is player2au, and until next time, hope you enjoy the showcase. We'll see you later.